Good morning, YouTube. Today on Exploring with Dadja, we are making our way to Tapawatra. Tapawatra is located in the upper Suriname River, where two other rivers, the Gran Rio and the Pikin Rio, meet each other. It is going to take us about 6 hours when exiting from Achuni to Tapawatra. So, let's get the show on the road. We are finally making our way to Tapawatra. When traveling to Tapawatra, you will come across different kinds of river resorts. So we stopped at Isadao Resort because the water is too shallow. We are traveling through the drought season and occasionally we have to step out of the boat to drag it over cliffs. So they went to the rapids with relative ease. I'm curious what other kinds of obstacles we'll have to come across. Luckily, we didn't have to pull the boat through the rapids. So we have a bit of a problem here right now. The motorboat has overheated. That's what the boatsman said. The trip is getting more interesting and we're not even an hour on the river. We got some nice rapids going here. These rapids are an extension of Anola Resort. Anola Resort is a resort closer to Achuni. It's about an hour traveling from Achuni. You can see our boatsman struggling to get us through the rapids because of the shallow water. Status update. Just stopped at a riverbank for a quick pit stop. It's a very long trip to Tapawatra from here. Still have around 3 hours to go. And this was a much needed trip for me and my friends. Chesta, what is your experience so far?
It's an awesome trip. It's a little hot, but I'm hanging in there. Can't wait until we arrive.
So after almost 5 hours of traveling, we finally arrived at Kodofi Island Resort. It's an island close to Tapawatra Palo. It's still under construction in some places, but it's a nice resort. Here we have all the food for the remaining 4 days. We have some chips, peas, sardines, potatoes, sweet potatoes, and veggies. I'm having my breakfast for now. We need the extra calories before we start hiking to Ananias Rock. My cousin is still sleeping. Maybe I'll try wake him up in an hour or so. Still too early. It's around 7:30. We are now making our way to our first daily activity. That's the trek to Ananias Rocks. It's not a real mountain in my opinion. It's just a big rock in the middle of the village. It's a 1 hour trek from camp to Ananias Rock. And after Ananias Rock, our boatsman Stanga will bring us to another sula. So far, everything looks really good. A pro tip, when you're in the wilderness, always check your shoes before wearing them. I almost stepped on this little bug. It does have some formidable mandibles. The scenery through the Pikin Rio is very breathtaking. I have no words to describe it. It is something you should come and experience yourself. We've just entered Dangotwe. Dangotwe is a new village. I haven't been here yet, but this is a village from where we will take the hike to Ananias better. So it's actually a new route for me. We are now receiving instructions from our guide, some mandatory safety instructions and what you can find through the route. So far, Dangotwe is looking like a very interesting village. We have people here preparing coconut oil and maripa oil. We are now finally making our way to Ananias Rots after sightseeing in the villages our guides grew up. After an hour of trekking through the jungle, we finally arrived at the top of Ananias Better, or rather Ananias Rots. I left my gorilla pot somewhere in the jungle, so when we're heading back, I'm going to look for it. Hopefully I can find it. Ananias Better is one of the activities you can do around Tapawatra. It's a very nice hill. It provides some really nice scenery. My battery is actually running really So this has been day 1 of our trip to Tapawatra, and if you want to see what happens in part 2, stick around and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in part 2.